Hey, it's me, the mouth of the sound, Jimmy Hart. Hey, check out my new tag team, baby, Monte and the Pharaoh.
Hey, Jimmy, don't forget to tell them about Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast.
Well, you know what, I would, but you already did it.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
With Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
With Monte and Pharaoh.
The Monte and Pharaoh Show.
Monte and Pharaoh, bro.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Monte and the Pharaoh.
To the Monte and Pharaoh Show.
And you're watching the Monte and Pharaoh Show.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
With Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
And Monte and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monte and the Pharaoh?
Monte and Pharaoh.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
To the Monte and the Pharaoh Show. And it's Monte and the Pharaoh, baby.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
With Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Oh, what a run.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Hey, cut the fucking music. When you want the best in professional wrestling, Long Island, there's only one place you're going to get it, right here.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famer, that rocker, Marty Jannetty, MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monte and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff and we gonna rock it.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Duh.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast out of Indie Music TV here in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. And at the board is super producer Matt. How are you, Matt?
Doing great as always.
And to the right of the Monte is the Pharaoh, the star of the show. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing great. What's that on your head?
This is my new look.
That's your new look.
Thug life, baby.
Thug life. Well, what is that? It looks like
This
underwear.
is called a war bonnet. Did you ever hear of this?
No, I never heard of a war.
So back in the day,
what day?
In the Civil War time.
Ooh, the day.
They used to wear something called a war bonnet.
Okay.
So this is a war
They
bonnet.
pulled their underwear off and threw it on their head and.
Well,
did they stitch stuff in there?
Think about it though.
Southern Life or something.
When you wear underwear.
Okay.
And as you get older, right? You get sweaty balls.
The same underwear as I get older? Wow.
Do your balls sweat at your age?
What?
You get bat wings?
What is bat wings?
You never heard of bat wings?
Oh, is that like the sweat
when
that accumulates in between your inner
and
thighs?
then your sack kind of gets hooked to your legs.
Your
and you
sack gets hooked to your legs.
Come on, it happens to you all the time. Don't even act like that doesn't
Wow. No, I just love the things we talk about out of nowhere.
No.
Bat wings. Bat wings. Bat Ow!
wings.
Ooh, stick! What is going on here?
So anyway.
Okay. So was that why the Joker was always so upset? Oh, my bat wings!
What's scary is that you know the theme song from the 1960s Batman, which is scary that I recognize
What are you talking? That's like the greatest show ever. Batman from the 60s. Everybody knows the real Batman's Adam West.
Let me ask you, did you enjoy the Batman movie? When the shark is on his leg, the rubber shot. You know, for people that don't know, there's a Batman
1966,
movie.
Batman the movie, yeah.
And there's a rubber shark. Oh, when he's running around with the giant bomb over his head.
You don't find that incredibly realistic?
Yes.
For the 60s?
And then he's about
That was a high-tech rubber shark?
Batman is such a good guy. He's about to throw this bomb off the boardwalk, but then there's a whole bunch of ducklings coming by, so he decides he's not going to hurt the ducklings. So he'll continue to run around with a bomb.
Right. That's Batman. That's Adam West Batman. Catwoman, you sinister fiend. I love Adam
Wow.
West. He was great.
Well,
He was
back-
great on Family Guy, too, Adam West.
Back to the war
Adam
bonnet.
West.
You talk about underwear.
Yeah.
It absorbs the sweat. And so when you were in the Civil War and you were sweating and bleeding,
Oy.
you would wear something called a war bonnet. See, at Monte the Pharaoh, you just don't learn about wrestling.
Yeah,
you learn
about the
about
Civil War.
Exactly. Matt,
Wow.
did you know about things called the war bonnet?
I had no idea.
So now you're learning, right?
Yeah.
Every day.
Don't you feel smarter?
Every Thursday, Matt
Every
learns something
Thursday,
new.
Matt-
He's
Matt-
learning what not to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like these two
Yeah,
old
Matt's
fucks.
pretty good with the music, though. We learned tonight that Matt likes Jim Croce.
Oh, yeah.
Good job there, Matt.
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Are you a Croce fan?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I love Jim
Cat
Croce.
Stevens or Jim Croce?
Jim Croce, but they're both awesome. Jim Croce.
Really?
Yeah, really. It's a no-brainer for me personally, but, you know,
Why?
it all depends.
I'm surprised at that.
They're
I
both
thought-
fantastic. I just
Cat
felt
Stevens
that
had a lot more.
Cat Stevens was
bigger hits,
dude,
right?
careful now. No, careful now. No, because if you actually look at both their greatest hits, Jim Croce had handfuls. If you start really thinking about it, you know, between Bad Leroy Brown and Time in a Bottle and Operator, you could keep going on and on and on. I felt that-
Operator.
yeah, well, you know, isn't that the
Pharaoh's
way?
making a call.
Michael Monte, take that diaper off your head. You know, I mean,
You know, me and the wife, we used to go to the Barclays, whatever, to the Hall of
Barclays.
Fame. We used to go
You
every
went to
year,
that?
numerous times.
wow, look at you.
Cat Stevens was in one of them, and we're like, ugh, Cat Stevens.
I
gotta
love
tell you,
Cat Stevens.
Oh my God,
He's great.
it's like if Cat Stevens ever comes around in concert, we're going.
Good luck with that. Cat Stevens, it'd be hard to break him out of his seclusion. He's a very private dude, this Cat Stevens. He's been for many, many years, decades now, since he got involved.
Did he
in
turn
the,
it? Did he return? Is he back to Cat Stevens, or is he still like
you
Muhammad?
know what? I
Jahood?
can't answer that question. I know that is he still who?
Muhammad Jahood.
Interesting.
I don't even
didn't
know if
what
that's what he
does. He have a
calls himself.
greatest hits too? Cat Stevens and Muhammad Jahood.
I-
Anyway, oh, peace train rolling faster, ride on the peace train.
Look
No?
at you, dude.
That's a great song,
Look at
Peace
you.
Train.
You
Yeah.
just like memorize every song.
Yeah, well, what about
You always
Wild
amaze
World?
me. Oh,
Wild
Wild World's
World's
great, dude.
fantastic, you know?
You know, you surprise me because
Go on.
I always think about you just being the heavy metal guy, but you
No.
are well-rounded.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely.
That makes me happy. It does make me
dude,
happy.
you know that my first instrument was classical piano, and I loved classical music. That's where it all started for me.
Quick story about when I first met Jimmy and we
God.
started hanging out.
Okay.
He used to have a piano in the house,
Yep.
and like you said, he was training on classical piano.
Yep.
And I remember him actually playing the theme song for Godzilla for me,
That's-
which I
you know,
couldn't get over, and I made him play it for like 3 hours straight. Remember that?
Here he goes. Yeah, well, don't forget also, I completely wasted my poor mom's money that she spent on teaching me classical, because then I would break in after Godzilla, or I would break into the theme from Halloween.
Right. That's right. That's right. You always learn
God.
those super themes. That's
You know
for
what was
sure.
really cool? You know, John Carpenter wrote that.
Did he really?
The piano part. Not only did he direct that classic movie, but he
I did
wrote
not- I didn't know.
he wrote the original score.
Were you a big Halloween guy?
You know I love the movie Halloween. That's
How
my
about the
favorite.
remakes?
I actually did like the first one that Zombie did. I know it's very grisly, and some people didn't adjust to it very well, but I thought that it was incredibly grisly, realistic, a lot more character depth about Michael Myers himself. You had
Well, but why was
Malcolm McDowell playing the role of Donald Pleasance, and I
Right.
love Malcolm McDowell.
Yes.
You know I do.
Yep,
So
yep.
I was like, wow, this was great. The second one, Rob Zombie's second movie, which was supposed to be Halloween 2,
Right.
the original was actually cool, the original Halloween 2. Then things got funny. But after
Wait,
that...
real quick.
Yeah.
So Halloween 2 is okay. Then they went to what? Halloween 3,
Season of the
some
Witch.
season, which was terrible.
Right, they wanted to try to like do something outside of the Michael Myers box and continue
Right.
the franchise. What a mistake that was. That's worse than Fake Razor and Fake Diesel. That was
So,
a
but
terrible
going back to Halloween
call.
1 before we get into the show,
Sure.
Michael
Yeah.
sees his sister having sex with a guy
in the original film.
and that upsets him. So he
Well-
decides to hack her up
Yeah, he hacks her up.
because she had sex with a man.
I can't. What, you want to start getting into the guy? About
I'm asking, yeah.
the bottom line was is that it was a weird. Michael Myers was a very strange child, and when he killed his sister, he didn't speak another word for 15 years, and the rest is history. Because when he gets out 15 years later on Halloween night, 1978, in Haddonfield, Illinois, it was a very bad place to be.
So if you were to analyze Michael Myers, though,
Yeah.
is it the fact that maybe he was in love with his sister
Who
sexually,
knows?
and that's why he did that?
Well, you know what was cool about the Rob Zombie film was they actually explained a lot of this.
So
He
what-
was from his mom.
explain.
Okay, in the Rob Zombie film, Michael Myers' mother was a dancer. She was basically.
She was a private dancer.
She would not. She would dance.
Private dancer.
She wasn't a private dancer. She danced
Dancer
at,
for
at your
money.
local carousel or boogie,
I
whatever.
gotcha.
She was a
Yeah.
stripper.
Right.
Okay. And her boyfriend was a steaming pile of garbage who was an alcoholic and would stay on the couch all day and abuse him. So he was very abusive towards Michael, and Michael's just a little boy. And they show this, that when Michael's a little boy.
Right.
So, of course, you know, at one point, you know, who he kills, he goes after this bastard. This bastard who was, you know, abusing his mom
which
and
kind of makes
abusing
sense,
him.
yeah. Right.
And the way he kills him, the guy's sleeping, and he duct tapes him and slits his throat, but make sure he's awake first before he realizes
right.
what's about to happen. And this is just a kid. But then, of course, he's locked away because he goes nuts and butchers everyone in the house. And his mom comes home from stripping, and there's Michael sitting outside, just like the original. He's sitting outside the house, and she's like, Michael, what just, you know.
Does
so.
he kill his sister in the new one, too?
Yeah, well, they have the whole connection. They do stay very faithful, but they also fill in a lot of blanks. You know, he was bullied in school. The best scene in the Halloween remake is one of the kids who bullies him. Michael follows him into the woods because he knows what path the kid takes home. And this guy was on the team, the football. He's a big, tough, you know, he mercilessly picked on Michael. Michael belts him in the balls repeatedly, and they show him belting him in the balls. He's basically killing him by crushing his testicles.
Right.
It's just like, it's a very, very powerful scene, you know, and either the strong of stomach can love it. I'm like, wow. It really showed, because that's earlier in the day when he does go nuts. That happens earlier in that day. He kills
so he starts off
kills
with the
the
kid
bully,
to get
right.
himself ready
He
for
kills the
everybody else.
bully, and then he goes nuts on the boyfriend of the mother and wipes out the whole house. And then he's put away for many, many years, and this time around, it's not the great Donald Pleasance, it's the great Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis.
From Clockwork Orange. in case anyone-
Yeah, Clockwork Orange, the great Malcolm McDowell. So, excellent job. But then
Time after time.
Yeah, oh man, with Mary
Remember that?
Steenburgen. Look at you!
Pop it,
H.G.
brother.
Wells,
There you
dude.
go.
Very good stuff.
All right, anyway, last Saturday we had Al Snow and Doink and Dink.
Sure.
And what were your thoughts of both interviews?
Fantastic. You know, Al Snow, great guy. And, you know, it's funny, too, because I think I had told you that there was this YouTube video that was saying Al Snow is in the top 10 wrestlers who don't like the fans. So the first thing I did when Al got here off the air is I said, listen, can I ask you, you know, how you feel about the fans? Because I saw this video, and I was very messed up by it, because you seem to me to be a pretty joyous kind of guy.
Seemed like a nice guy, yeah.
You know, and he was like, wow, that's a bunch of crap, that video, you know. So he was a great person to meet. He was great. By the way, he might be one of the most intelligent guests we've ever had, Al Snow.
Dude, that was
the way he speaks.
That was, you know,
wow.
It's funny.
Wowsy wow, very smart man.
I look at all these podcasts. We're a broadcast. I'll keep saying
Go on.
that. But it's funny how this show is. This show isn't a shoot interview show. You know, we do not shoot interviews, but we obviously talk about wrestling.
Right.
But the show is so much deeper than that.
Right.
I mean, it gives the wrestling fan the insight of their favorite wrestler, but in real life, right? You know, you could go anywhere and get your whatever, your you know.
I know that the
your
wrestlers.
explanation.
I know that the wrestlers are relaxed when they're here with us, and that allows them to be relaxed when it comes to being interviewed. They're more free to say things, you know.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I really loved it, and I would like to say that Doink and Dink were also fantastic. But I got to tell you, I really loved Doink. What I didn't expect was, I don't know if you felt this way, but when he was here with us, first of all, he's a very real guy. Okay.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Yes.
But I swear, when he walked in, I said, "Who let Jackie Gleason into the room?" I am telling you, if you put me and him, me as Norton and him as Jackie Gleason in a play somewhere, I bet you we do all right. This guy reminded me so much of Jackie Gleason. Was it just me, or was it just his speaking mannerisms?
No.
For whatever that's worth, I thought he was really cool.
Listen, I've said it before. You know,
great guest.
Most of the times we both hit it off with the wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes they may tend to go a little more Pharaoh, or sometimes they may go a little more Monte. It doesn't.
Right.
That's not the point.
Well, at least you didn't get molested by Dink.
Well, that was. Well,
why don't you look at it that way?
But that's a badge of honor. I told you afterwards. I'm like, he felt
He's-
comfortable enough to touch your sack.
They go, well, he did not touch my sack.
Well, he was touching your ass.
He was attempting to, you know,
manipulate
I
you.
think he was just
He
messing
was
around.
He was
Dink
attempting.
is a good guy.
He was attempting to do what this bonnet does and kind of get the bat wings separated.
The bat wings.
But you know, also people got to understand, right? We're almost the age of these guys, a little bit younger, right?
Oh, stop it already,
right?
would
Whatever.
you please? I'm not in a rush to get to
No,
70
neither am I. But the point is, they can identify with us a little better, right? They,
Right.
you know, I don't think they look at us as fans as much as they do as
What, like regular people?
Yeah, it's regular
well,
people.
That's the whole point.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Locally, I'm sorry for the nationwide fans. They don't know what we're talking about, but I think it.
What?
I think it definitely
What?
requires us to just a quick little shout out.
I don't even want it to be quick if this
Revolution
is
in
what-
Amityville
Okay.
has Revolution.
Oh, this is
has
something else.
closed its doors.
What?
Yes.
Okay, for those
COVID
folks who are
yeah, go ahead.
confused, Revolution was at this point, as we speak, basically the #1 rock club on Long Island for the most part.
It was
That
a CBGB's
It was a
of
really,
Long Island
it was a
type
really
of
good
deal.
play. I don't know about CBGB's, but
But
you
you
know,
understand where I'm getting with that.
CBGB's is effing
Okay.
legendary. But I
Right.
do understand what you're getting at. It was the hot spot for rock bands, right?
Yes, and it was
right now.
where bands
Right.
can go to play.
Sure.
And
Sure.
draw an
It was a
audience and get their name out
good
there.
place to play. Absolutely.
And not
So
only
it's-
that, they have famous people come through there, right?
Absolutely.
They've had tons. You know?
Absolutely. It's just, you know, when I hear CBGB's, you know, that's a
Okay.
whole
Right.
nother story because
Sure.
that was part of the formation of great genres in the business when that club was going on.
Right.
But, wow, that really stinks. And what was the story? Because of COVID, obviously?
Well,
Are they
COVID's
permanently
killing.
closed? Is
COVID's
that?
permanently closed.
That's
doors are
sad.
closed.
What's left? Do you know what other clubs? You go to clubs, I know you go
well,
see bands from time to time.
I love live music. Okay?
Is Mulcahy still alive? Do they?
They're still around.
That's a good thing. Anybody else?
Well, I would say
Here
that
on Long Island for
the live music venues are starting to shrink up.
Of course.
And I would also tell you that the comedies, like I'm surprised
That has to go
Governors-
hand in hand.
I'm surprised Governors is still hanging
Are they
in
doing
there.
shows?
I hear they're doing outside shows. Again,
Interesting.
I'm not a guy that goes to a lot of comedy stuff, right? 'Cause
Right.
I honestly don't find
You
a lot
love
of
your
people fun.
concerts, though.
Yes,
I know
I
that.
love music.
You love your concerts.
I don't
All
like.
right.
I'm not a big fan of comedy. I don't think again, it takes
Okay.
a lot to make me laugh out loud.
Right.
You make me laugh.
Yeah, well, I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're actually
yeah.
better than 95% of the comedians out there.
Let's
so.
leave my looks out of this. Come
No,
on.
but you know what? Maybe you should have been a comedian
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
on top of being a great musician, right?
Oh,
so it's
thank
like,
you. Thank you. Bow, bow,
but
bow.
seriously,
Bow, bow, bow.
this is a shot. I used to go see independent bands. I saw some wonderful bands I never even knew.
Right.
Going in to see another band.
Right.
You know, Aqua Cherry, who used to sing our theme song before Wisteria Hall took it over.
Right.
I used to go see them, and I'm just using them as an example.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
but there's one band called High School Musical.
Okay.
Go watch them on, go catch their songs on YouTube. I mean, they're friggin' awesome.
I wonder how some of my ex-band members are doing, like, the very, very talented Tom Cavanaugh, who was doing the Johnny Cash deal. I mean, he was playing every big theater from here through Connecticut, through up, down.
Ain't playing them anymore.
What is he doing? What does he do? In the past he had Almost Queen. He was on Howard Stern. I mean, what do you do now?
It's trouble.
It's not good, man. It's not good. That's
why
very
it-
depressing to hear. I'm sorry to hear that. you know?
Anyway, it's sad for local music here on Long Island.
Yeah.
And I hope a lot of this just eventually goes away.
Sure.
I
Gonna
want
take time to rebuild.
I want to recognize that the passing of a Met icon and a baseball icon, Tom Seaver.
This. Do we have a couple of minutes? I mean,
You got
to
plenty of
talk about Tom Seaver.
Matt
now.
says he's here all night.
All night, huh, Matt? Wow, that's awesome. Okay. Tom Seaver. Now, I'm obviously speaking as a Yankee fan, but I will say this about Tom Seaver. Here's certain memories I have about. Well, actually, first let's just really spell out who Tom Seaver was. Okay, 20-year career, 311 wins, an ERA under 3. Now, for those of you who don't really follow statistics, Tom Seaver is one of only 3 pitchers in the last 100-plus years to wind up finishing a career with an ERA under 3 with 3,000 strikeouts and 300 wins.
Yep.
Okay? That's insane. That we're basically saying is one of the 3 greatest pitchers of the last plus 100 years. Okay? But here's a personal memory of Tom Seaver. It's, I believe, August 4th, 1985, and now at 1985 we had just graduated high school, okay, Mike?
Yeah.
So I am kind of like already thinking about music. Like I'm starting to really concentrate on music because that's really what I want to do. And sports was slowly in my later years in high school going out, slowly seeping away a little bit. So my dad wanted to go see the Yankees. It's 1985. I seem to have my mind on a lot of other things, but we went. And the Yankees are playing the Chicago White Sox, and I'll never forget this day because it was a stinker for the Yankees. They were terrible. They couldn't hit Tom Seaver at all. Tom Seaver was pitching for the White Sox at the time. And I'm watching this game, and Seaver's mowing them down, and he's mowing them down. And then I saw something I'd never seen before. As we're getting to the 8th inning, the 9th inning, the Yankee fans are all rooting for Tom Seaver. And I remember my father was like, What's going on? Why are they rooting for him? And then we found out, because back in those days there was no internet, we basically, through word of mouth, was Tom Seaver's about to win his 300th game.
Wow.
And he's doing it in front of me, right?
Wow.
And I'm sitting there watching this, and it was so weird to hear the crowd rooting against the Yankees.
Right.
And wanting this man to beat them to get his 300th win. That's when I realized those trading cards I used to put on my bike spokes in the 70s, like Tom Seaver,
Yeah.
Dave Kingman, the Met guys too. I mean, man, this Tom Seaver guy, man, he must be really great. I'm only 18 at the time, or 17 going on 18, and I watched Tom Seaver win his 300th game in person.
Dude, you've actually seen some really great sports moments.
So Doc Gooden's no-hitter.
Yeah.
My
memory
cool
of Tom
shit.
Seaver is,
over the years.
Thank God my father's still with us, and
Yeah.
he grew up a Met fan, and he trained me to become a Met fan.
You were a
which
Met fan, I remember.
I eventually turned away.
Yeah, we'll
but,
get into that another time.
Yeah.
But to me, that's
Tom
unbelievable.
Seaver is like, again, pro New York.
He's
but
the
Tom
greatest
Seaver's-
Met ever.
He's like Joe Namath.
Yes.
Right?
They won it. They won the championship
He's
in the
like-
same year, 1969.
He's like, he's like Walt Clyde Frazier.
Yes.
Earl
Sure.
Pearl Monroe.
Sure.
He's Patrick Ewing.
He's
right. He's that's that group of
he's
like
Reggie
Mark
Jackson.
Messier, Reggie Jackson.
He's in that. Yeah, he's in that room. He's in that room. His favorite player as a kid, he idolized Hank Aaron, and it's the 1967 All-Star game, and he's just a baby. He just got into the league, and there's Hank Aaron, and he wonders. And now he's an All-Star too, but he's just a rookie basically, and he walks up to Hank Aaron, his boyhood idol, Tom Seaver, baby Tom Seaver, and he goes, "Mr. Aaron, is it okay if I know you probably don't know who I am, but is it okay if I have your autograph?" Hank Aaron turns to Tom Seaver and goes, "It's all right, son. I know who you are, and by the time your career gets done, everybody's going to know who you are."
Wow.
And so the great Tom Seaver,
Funny
man.
talent knows talent, right?
Yeah, he knew.
It goes back to like the Doink interview when we asked him, did you know that this guy had it? This guy, and I was watching it the other day, and
Right.
he talks about Kurt Hennig, like
Oh,
he knew Kurt
how can
had
you?
the goods, right?
Right.
We
We
did-
asked him about baby Kurt's infancies very,
Yeah.
very, very early on in his run in the early 80s.
Do you remember, back, not to veer off subject, but do you
Mhm.
remember Kurt Hennig when we were first watching?
Sure.
When he came aboard?
Kurt Hennig was the
Did you think Kurt Hennig, like, at our age, I was shocked when Kurt Hennig became a big shot in the AWA. I was like, oh my God, what are they doing?
The Kurt Hennig we saw wrestle at Shea Stadium with the tushy face and had you had no clue what you knew he could wrestle, but
Right,
he was
didn't
just
matter.
there.
He had nothing. Yeah.
You didn't know that he was going to turn into that.
Well, no, and by the way, when he got to the AWA, because, at that
Right.
point, I was in the military, you were
Right.
doing your thing, but if you
Right.
went to PWI or...
Oh,
you knew he was
coming
all of a sudden you're
along.
like, whoa!
You knew he was coming along.
Kurt Hennig's hitting the something.
But you know who invented Mr. Perfect, don't you? Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon invented the Mr. Perfect character.
And by the way... Well,
that was one of Vince McMahon's greatest inventions, and if you don't believe me, look it up, because Vince McMahon did create Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
That idea was perfect.
We didn't get the opportunity to recognize Bob Armstrong, who passed away last weekend.
Right.
Thoughts on Bullet Bob?
Memories of Bob Armstrong, and I believe his son too, right? I mean,
Brad, yeah.
listen, it's Georgia Championship Wrestling, man.
And Scott.
Yeah, it's. I remember Georgia Championship Wrestling. I remember that they were all very, very sound technicians, and I also remember rooting against them. That's what I remember. I was
Me
not
too.
a big. I mean, can we talk about the character if we can, if we're allowed?
I don't think it's insulting.
I don't think so either. I just was always rooting for whoever they were
I
fighting.
freaking hated Bob Armstrong. I got
Did
to be
you?
honest with you. When he used to get in the ring, and like there were certain guys that I
To
never
be fair, he had
understood why they
that
were
Bob
put.
Backlund thing going on, but Backlund was much more engaging when you look back on the.
Thing I like,
but it was something like that.
So tell
if that
me
makes any
tell
sense.
me if I'm out of line on this then,
No,
right?
it's-
So it was guys like Bob Armstrong,
Yeah.
that would win.
Yeah.
Who's the other one? Jesus. There's certain guys in Georgia.
Bob
Championship-
Armstrong strikes me emotionally the way Steve Travis did. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
They're just there. There's no personality. Okay, you can wrestle. Obviously, they can
I'm sorry,
wrestle.
Thunderbolt Patterson. Remember they used to put him over
Yeah,
all the
it
time
doesn't
too.
really-
Like I never I was
Right.
like, why are they putting this? But you
Right.
talk to the old timers or the old wrestlers, they say how
Right.
great Thunderbolt Patterson was and Bob Armstrong was.
Okay.
And I'm not saying they weren't.
Right.
But as a fan,
To the viewer, they didn't do
And
a
he
thing
definitely
for me.
couldn't transition to the WWE. He just,
Right.
I don't think he was a transition guy, right?
Right.
He was a Georgia Championship Wrestling guy. You could never see him in our realm.
It is a different world sometimes. Some adjust, some don't.
Jimmy, I want to congratulate you, and I want to congratulate Indie Music
Congratulate
TV. Again, in the world of YouTube, it's not so huge, but for us it is. It's one of our mile markers that we put on ourselves, and we finally achieved it. 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty good, man. That was basically a year. So, get back to us in a couple of years.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I'm humbled, and
it's
you
all
know
good.
what? The minute we got to Indie Music Studio, things started changing. So,
No,
again,
it's doing well.
Thanking Indie Music TV for what they've done.
Yep.
I'd like to thank the band that sings the theme song for Monte and the Pharaoh.
Who be that?
Lead singer Jimmy Pharaoh and his band Wisteria Hall, along with his partner Bart Griggs. Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as our theme song, Riding High, which the video premiere, and how's it doing? The song.
Good, as far as I know, but you know me. I'm already thinking about what's next.
Well, I got to tell you, unbelievable song.
I'm very pleased with it. I'll leave it
It's
at
funny.
that.
I personally, I love music, and honestly, if I didn't think Wisteria Hall weren't as good as they were, I would just say, hey, Wisteria Hall, or whatever. But the music, I call it iPod worthy. It's on my iPod. I mean, you go to your last album, it's an album of 10, I think 10 songs, if I'm right, and correct me if I'm wrong. But I could tell you that 8 of them are top notch in my book.
Okay, let me ask you something. Do you think 7 songs is too few for an album? Because I noticed Leonard Skinner sometimes would just put out 7, and I was interested in possibly not having as many this time. What do you think about that?
I'm not an expert on that. I will tell you this: there's nothing better than an album that's a
That
win
moves.
from the beginning to end.
Right. I guess you're answering
Remember,
my
you
question.
remember getting an
as
album
long as it
and it
moves,
was like you
doesn't
have
matter
like
how
2
many
songs and they're so far apart, and it's like I'm talking back in the day. It's different now, right? There's the streaming and all this other stuff.
Not to bring up this, but I'm going to. Before the show started, I was talking about Priest and Metallica. Earlier today, I was listening to Judas Priest. Speaking of albums that, you talked about certain songs being spaced out, like, okay, there's 10 songs, but only 2 and 7 and 10 are good. Judas Priest is so top-heavy with their albums. I was listening to Point of Entry that starts out with Heading Out to the Highway, and then the next album that starts out with Electric Eye, like
I think Heading Out to the Highway, isn't that off of
that
Heading
starts,
Out to the Highway?
That starts Point of Entry.
Is it
starts
Point of Entry?
Heading
Okay.
Out to the Highway.
All right. And
but
then Hot Rockin' on that.
Hot
right?
Rockin' is the third song on
So
Point
I'm
of
going to
Entry.
agree with you on that.
They start out really top-heavy, and then the album does what I call petering out.
Yes.
It's like, ugh.
You know what? I agree with you.
Right.
In fact,
And that's why Iron Maiden's better, because they don't peter out.
I disagree with that.
Hallowed be thy name is a record in
I
Iron
will
Maiden
say this
world.
about Wisteria Hall.
Yeah!
They're different.
Yeah,
the
well-
songs are all different.
Thank you.
In fact, I would
Try.
tell you that when Jimmy first played Riding High for me
Surprise.
back last year,
Right.
personally, as enjoying their first album, I was like, I
It's
don't
different.
know if I agree with this. Now, I would never say anything. I'm no expert.
Right.
And obviously I'm not, because I could tell you that Riding High is unbelievable. So sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut and keep your thoughts to yourself. Something
Yeah, but
else
I
you're going to
also-
learn right now, Matt, you just keep your mouth shut.
I was also
because you
playing-
don't always know what the hell you're talking.
I was also playing you the song in its infancies before it was all finished with the fairy dust in the studio, so that's a whole nother story.
It's fantastic.
Thank you, man.
Catch
Thank
Wisteria Hall on Spotify, iTunes, Reverb Nation, and I think your partner Bart is talking about moving on to some other music websites. So I got to tell you, fans out there, check out Wisteria Hall. Also, Wisteria Hall, you can catch their video right here on Indie Music TV.
Nice.
Nice. Monte the Pharaoh can be seen on YouTube, Facebook Live, Monte the Pharaoh page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Twitch TV, Monte the Pharaoh page, RTS Sports Network on Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. That was about an hour ago. Channel 115 every Tuesday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Early Risers on Channel 115, 6 a.m. to 6:30. And also on Friday morning, going to be switching to Saturday morning on Channel 20. And again, I'm still working out Amazon. It's a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but I was hoping it'd be happening already.
there.
We'll be right back. A long-winded first round, Pharaoh, after this commercial break.
See you in a few seconds. And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB. And Varola Worldwide Logistics for all your logistic needs. Please call 862-227-3670. Once again, that's 862-227-3670. Varola Worldwide Logistics.
You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence. Collision Specialists. 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh. Real quick, fan out there, Scott Gata. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He believes that Steven Regal is the only person to have ever had a match with Bullet Bob and 3 of his sons.
Interesting.
That's a really interesting
That's cool.
fact,
Yeah,
right?
not for nothing. That must have been a hell of a match, though, between almost basically any of them with Regal, because Regal can freaking wrestle.
Regal
that must
can
have
go.
that must have been pretty good.
Speaking of Regal, did you like Regal?
Yeah, I like Regal even more now, probably because he's been such a great GM with NXT. He's really become likable over the years. Did I appreciate him fully back in the day? How about a big fat no?
You always remind
Probably should have more.
You always remind me of
I
my
have learned to
drunk
appreciate
uncle.
him. Wait a minute.
Like a drunk
Regal
uncle.
reminds you of your drunk uncle.
Yeah, just like, the puppy dog sinking eyes.
Interesting.
And like, I had too much to drink tonight.
Did you ever read a little bit about Regal's life? That guy was fighting as a kid for money.
Those guys from England are tough.
Dude, that guy was like, cleaning clocks when he was like a teenager.
You gotta survive in England, bro.
Man, oh man, Regal's a tough dude. He schooled Goldberg too, of course, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's get a little deeper.
Oh, by the way, thank you for the comment out there. Thank you. What else you got?
On the WWE Network 24 series, Braun Strowman says, with a chat, Vince McMahon stopped him from contemplating suicide.
Wow.
The former WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman recently revealed that he was dealing with some severe mental health problems back in February 2019.
Yeah, that sounds like a really bad guy, huh?
Well, I don't know if it's
You know what direction I'm already going in here.
No,
I mean,
I hear you.
Vince McMahon helped Braun Strowman. Does that count for anything, or are we just going to get back online and start throwing more stones at him? Listen, if somebody's feeling suicidal, that is no joke. Okay, especially with the history of it in this business. I mean, what does the pessimist say? Vince is only doing it because Braun is one of his current products and he's worth money to him.
I find it. I got to tell you,
I
as
think
far
it's
as
cool that Vince was there to help him.
But how about the
That's
WWE's documentaries, right?
All
I mean,
right.
I find it impressive that Braun is willing to share that.
It means that he can walk up to Vince and talk to him about it, and that says something about Vince McMahon's relationship with Braun Strowman.
How about a testament to Braun himself, though? Like, this is a guy who's
able to reach out for help.
Not only that, he's able to speak about it.
That's cool.
And the fans that younger fans, right, that may be going through the same situation.
That's cool.
You could see a big, strong, tough guy like Strowman saying,
Right.
"Hey, look,
if it can happen to him, it can happen to
There
me."
you
But he
go.
got through it, and I can get through it too. That's fantastic.
talk about the messages that
That's great.
The good stuff in the world. That's a
I know,
message.
but nobody harps on it because does it sell papers? That's what's really sad about this. I think that's an awesome story, but isn't it just a blip on the radar? As far as the negativity, negativity is what spears the internet. It's what spears the media. It's what spears the world. Everything needs to be bad news.
I think I think the WWE does a great job with their documentaries. They're well done. They're the best out there. It's not even no one can even compete with them.
By the way, Vince McMahon, as far as some of Vince McMahon's greatest creations, and I don't care what anyone thinks about this, Braun Strowman is one of Vince McMahon's probably top 10 greatest creations. Braun Strowman himself. What did I say to you the other week when Braun lost the belt? He don't need it. Braun Strowman is so over, like we said, about the lines we see when he's appearing and stuff.
Sure.
His character he's over. He don't even need the belt. He could be doing the Big Show thing for Vince for the next 15 years. Set, locked, done.
I can't disagree.
You know,
with you.
just my thoughts on that. And who created Braun Strowman, by the way? Vince McMahon. He created that character, Braun Strowman.
Speaking of that,
he did.
Strowman at Payback loses the title, gets pinned, right? Against Reigns. Thought about that?
Yeah.
Are you upset about Reigns regaining the title?
No, not the way they've gone about it. I mean, you're forgetting who's with him.
By the way, Scott also weighs in again.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Another great point.
What do you got?
He's surprised they didn't run a suicide hotline number at the end of the documentary. It's a great point. They should have. You know, if you need help with suicide,
is there a national prevention hotline?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, then they could have, sure.
I think that would have been another great
point,
Scott.
Job. They did a great job, though, at least putting the documentary out. No, I mean, at least they're doing that.
Absolutely.
I mean, they do have a massive forum and to reach massive amounts of people. So at least they're getting that out there.
I didn't let you get your point across. I apologize. So
what was my point?
Reigns beats Strowman.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
I love what they did with Roman Reigns. They finally pulled.
You have to.
How could you not? How could you not? This is great.
What does that mean for the Fiend?
It doesn't mean what it means. The Fiend just. He'll probably hold the belt again eventually. You'll blink. You'll look back a few years from now and be like, "Wow, the Fiend held the belt 4 times." You know what I mean? I don't think it's that great for the Fiend, but look, if you're going to do this with Roman Reigns, I mean, could you imagine if they'd done this to the Fiend and Roman wasn't with Paul? Let's look at it that way. If they had just given the belt to Roman without the Paul,
do you think they're doing it because
then it would have been?
The Fiend's
oh my God!
Going to become a face now. They're going to try to roll.
How do you make the Fiend a face?
It's hard. I agree. It's another great point. How do you do that? Right?
I hear that there's a new Wyatt family coming.
Really?
That's what I'm hearing.
I hope it's Alexa Bliss.
I
mean,
think
what's going on with that whole
but
thing?
who's the third peg in that? All of that. Rowan's going to come back.
Strowman.
That would be interesting.
That
would be kind of cool.
That would make sense.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Raw ratings are down.
Oh no!
From the key demographic from 18 to 49.
Okay.
Mike,
you know what really sucks?
Go ahead.
We're past the 49.
Oh, I know. Well,
what the fuck?
We're over the hill. We're not. That's what I'm saying. They're not.
Wait a minute, though. We're only 52 years old apiece. So why are we like? Oh, does that mean we just don't matter?
We don't matter.
Wow, that's rough. Go on.
They're still down 35% compared to where they were at the start of the pandemic, while viewership was down 28%.
All right.
Which we knew was happening, right?
Right.
SmackDown averaged 2.1 million. Well, we'll call it 2.2 million viewers last week.
That's actually not so horrendous.
Is the WWE, in your opinion, paying too much attention to SmackDown and not enough attention to Raw?
I don't know the answer to that. I doubt it. I'm sure that Vince carefully, prepares both programs to do the best they can. I can't see why he would just consciously put more effort into one than the other, but then again, SmackDown is on Fox. Perhaps he does, This is not so horrible lately. I thought I was going to read like a 1.4 or something like that. A 2.18
Thunderdome idea is working.
Is it?
It's working.
Okay.
Again, 2 million viewers isn't too bad.
Under these current circumstances, yeah, I guess you can certainly say they're okay.
Hey, and before we go to commercial break, use this example too. Notice that Retribution doesn't show up on SmackDown. They only show up on Raw.
Right.
Why?
Right.
SmackDown, Fox.
Right.
It's pretty simple stuff, right?
Right.
And we'll get into AEW a little bit, but AEW's got to watch out. They got to watch out what they're doing on air now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
You like Retribution?
I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's great. I don't know. It hasn't played out yet. You don't.
Right.
You do a storyline. You don't bail out. You keep going, right? We talk about a whole bunch of different things. You keep driving and trying to get better, and hopefully it works out. Too many times do they bail out of angles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What if Hogan and Macho Man in the beginning really wasn't getting a rub, and they gave up on it and they ended it. You know what I mean? You got to keep going.
The best way to agree with that and to slam that point home. Once upon a time, there was a guy with a gimmick that he did Elvis. Mm-hmm. And they put a major belt on this guy, and the fans just absolutely like, get this, are you kidding me? And he wasn't even good in the ring, technically,
That's right.
if you really want to get technical.
Very good.
What made the Honky Tonk Man the greatest, perhaps the greatest Intercontinental Champion in the history of the title, was the fact that they didn't take it off of him. That he held it for 50-something days, mm-hmm. and drove the fans mad to the point of drooling, wanting him to lose. That in 31 seconds, when Warrior flew down that SummerSlam ramp at the Garden, He did defeat and put an end to Honky Tonk's reign, but he also put a stamp on Honky Tonk's reign as this is a reign you will talk about for decades. And it was because they stayed patient. And they allowed the Honky Tonk Man to continue rather than going, this Elvis thing is stupid, it's not working, let's take the belt off him. You know, he was supposed to be a transition champion, the Honky Tonk Man, by the way.
And ladies
How'd that turn out?
And ladies and gentlemen, that's why that's the star of the show, the Pharaoh.
Oh, well,
we'll be
thank
right
you,
back
pal.
after this commercial break.
Ow.
Jimmy, I just got the best hookup on tickets.
Fill me in.
I went to www.seatslinks.com and ordered the best tickets with the best prices.
Call 718-676-0504. SeatsLink, the complete ticket experience.
Tell them Charles sent you.
That's right, folks. Canine Corral for all your dog daycare and overnight care. Call 631-549-1544. That's 631-549-1544.
You want to star in your own success? Call QuickCast. www.quickcast.com. 866-7-CAST-NOW. That's 866-7-CAST-NOW. QuickCast.
Star in your own success.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte and Pharaoh, only seen here every Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. out of Indie Music Television here in Ronkonkoma, New York. Renee Young says the WWE was not happy when she announced she had the COVID-19 infection. Young was a guest on Sports Illustrated Media podcast. By the way, I don't even know half this podcast stuff. It spoke about making her diagnosis public. The WWE was not pleased about the announcement. Thoughts on that, Jimmy?
What sort of thoughts am I supposed to? What is she complaining about something? What is she saying? She
She's
was
just
not
saying
happy.
that when she
what,
made,
because they told her to keep it to herself?
Everybody to know that they're doing these events and some people are getting COVID because they're
Why would you
interacting.
want? Why would you want everybody in your company running around going, "I've got COVID"?
No, you don't.
You don't want them running around going, "I've got COVID." You know what I read that was more annoying to me was that she was criticizing the testing. That's what I had read, and that kind of annoyed me. I'm like, Renee, now that you're out, you're going to just start slinging mud. Like it kind of bothered me a little bit.
What, they're not testing enough?
They weren't. Look, we had Johnny Photo in here during all of this, and Johnny said they were being very careful and taking care of everybody. Did he or did he not? So I kind of trust Johnny Photo.
Look, you go by.
He works there.
You go by the country's guidelines.
They were clearly being careful according to John.
You do the best you can.
Right.
I mean,
so
look,
I don't know what the hell she's complaining about. I mean, what? That she got COVID? Did this ever occur to her? I think she was. This is what bothered me. I think she was suggesting that she got corona because her company, the WWE, wasn't really careful enough. Okay, fine. Okay, you want to play that game? So let's talk about this. How do we know? Since you want to throw that out there, how do we know that John Moxley, when he was doing his AEW stuff, didn't get, or how do we know he's not a carrier?
Yeah.
And somehow, carried it on over to home after wrestling Luchasaurus,
right?
And Marco Punt, Marco stunted growth, and he came home with the, and now she's got it. How do we know how she got it? WWE! We don't know how you got it. What are you bitching about? What? You're bitching about the company that made you famous at the age of 25 and paid you insanely, and then your husband left, and now you're going to sling mud? What?
I don't understand why everybody's got to slam the door.
I don't get it. But you know what, though? Here's the best part, though. Knowing the McMahons, somewhere down the road, if they see a reason to bring them back where it'll be beneficial to both of them, they'll drop their ego and bring them back.
My whole point is that the WWE says, hey,
they drop their ego all the time to bring people
back. We
back.
didn't appreciate you saying this. It's like, why do you have to tell them that they didn't appreciate it? Just whatever.
I don't know.
Anyway,
man.
she wasn't the only one that got it.
Bitching.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announced on Instagram video Wednesday that him, his wife Lauren, and his 2 daughters all tested positive for COVID-19.
Not good.
Quote, "I can tell you that this has been one of the most challenging and difficult things we have ever had to endure as a family. And for me personally, too," Johnson said in a video.
Man, oh man.
And if I've gone through some doozies in the past, I've gotten knocked out and gotten my ass kicked a little bit, but testing positive for COVID-19 is much different than overcoming nasty injuries or being evicted or even being broke, as he referenced to his life growing up. Thoughts on that?
I hope he's okay. I hope his family's okay, It's we've had Sonny Beach in here, and he went through it. It's obviously very, very nasty. I wonder how he got it.
At it.
I wonder how The Rock got it. I mean,
I think he said
Hollywood
that he was at
party or
some kind of
something?
family party, and some
Family
people
party.
unknowingly had it, and
I
and
don't
away
know.
we go.
Yeah, and the way we go. I hope he's going to be okay.
AJ Styles tested
How
positive.
the heck
for
did
COVID.
AJ get it? AJ doesn't go out. He's a family man. I guess when you're traveling,
Well,
he's traveling.
Again, we keep on thinking, look, because you smoke cigarettes every day doesn't mean you're going to get lung cancer, right? Just because you don't smoke cigarettes every day doesn't mean you're not going to get lung cancer.
Right.
The odds are greater if you smoke,
Sure.
of course.
Sure.
So people are more susceptible to this disease than other people.
Why can't I get past what a very old man told me many, many years ago about what he called the deli counter theory? Now, at the time, this guy was a World War II survivor. I wonder how old he lived to be, but I think he was about 80, mid-80s.
Okay.
And he said to me, he goes, he lived so long and he's seen so much, surviving World War II, living through the Vietnam War, living through all the Watergate, living through Reaganomics, living through... He said to me,
Living
he goes...
through Reaganomics.
Well, the Reagan era. I'm just saying, the man lived a very long time, So he said to me at the time, he said, my young man, because I was just, maybe 20-something at the time, he said, life is the deli counter theory. And I said, what is that? He goes, when it's time for your sandwich, they'll call your name. And I was like, wow. I'm like, is that basically the deal? He goes, that's the deal. He goes, in a world where someone who gets cancer and dies and never smoked a cigarette, and George Burns can live to be 100 and smoke cigars, it's the deli counter theory, my friend. Live life to the fullest and enjoy it, and if you got to put your pedal to the metal sometimes, so be it. And that's the advice I took from this guy.
Amen.
I thought it was pretty good. I think he's right about that. It is the deli counter theory sometimes.
Other news, Seth Rollins is leaving the WWE to spend time with his girlfriend, Becky Lynch,
to spend time.
and
Okay.
walk her through her pregnancy into December. How nice is that?
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
It's fucking September. Oh, yeah, I wish I could take my job off and for my pregnant wife and
Who's
take
letting him?
3 months.
Vince. What a bad guy.
I mean, life is so tough. I'm going to take a break.
What do you want him to do anyway? Wrestle in front of nobody?
That's a good point.
Let's just hope he doesn't curb stomp everybody in the house.
I just call bullshit. It's like, come on, man.
I need September off. There goes Seth Rollins.
September, October, November. And that guy never
it's
takes
his
off.
first kid.
4 months?
Well, what was he missing? Who's he going to be wrestling? Oh, we're going to miss him for 4 months?
Yeah.
What is that? No, we're not.
He's a main character.
I'm not
going to
miss him.
You're not.
He's not Shawn Michaels.
Wow. That's wow.
Would you're going to miss Seth
I'm gonna
Rollins?
miss him,
Wow,
yeah.
man, Seth
I
Rollins.
like the Monday Night
Hey,
Messiah.
Pharaoh, I like him too. Imagine how great it'll be when he comes back.
Oh, welcome back, Monday Night Messiah.
Maybe he'll come back as the Monday Night Moron. I have no idea when he comes out. Hi!
Iconics.
Anyway.
They split.
How could they do this?
They split.
I know why they're doing this.
Tell me why.
They're doing what I always recognized right from day one, that Peyton Royce is the star of the team. Peyton Royce is awesome. They got to find a way to push her to the moon. She's got...
What about Billy Kay, dude?
You got to stop. Billy Kay looks like
Billy
a foot.
Kay. Shut up.
Billy
Come
Kay
on.
looks like a foot. Okay?
She looks like
Peyton
She
Royce.
looking like a foot?
She looking like a toes at the foot with
Oh
the
my
cuticles.
God.
The yellow cuticles.
Oh.
Come on, Peyton Royce has got Peyton Royce has got diva written all over her. You don't
Billy
think?
Kay doesn't?
Wait a minute. Are we looking at the same faces here?
Billy Kay's smoking, dude. Come
In
on.
what way is Billy Kay's mug smoking? Like, I could understand flicking my cigarette in it. That's smoking.
Wow.
What are you talking about? You don't realize I'm having fun here.
I'm
Billy
really
Kay's
sad.
fine.
Really
I'm
sad.
just saying, though. Now that the goofy is over with.
Peyton Royce is on the high.
Billy Kay is fine. She's awesome and all of that. You know I love that team. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is it's pretty obvious that if you're going to split them up, it's obvious who the star is.
Billy
To me,
Kay.
it's
And Billy Kay
Peyton.
can't really wrestle, so what happens to her? Seriously.
So
it's
let me
over.
get this straight. You just had me almost apologize for having fun with a face that looks like a foot, and you know she can't wrestle. It's Peyton, man. It's Peyton. Peyton's got. Wait a second. I'm surprised for a guy who always loves to support the women's wrestling and especially their derrieres. How the heck are you not drooling over Peyton Royce?
I got to tell you.
Wait a minute. You got to explain this one
I'm gonna
because
explain it
honestly,
to you.
Peyton Royce to me is prettier, better looking than Alexa Bliss could ever be.
Whoa.
I'm a brunette person. You haven't figured that out? You still
All right,
haven't
can I
figured
give
that
my
out.
explanation?
Go ahead.
So I understand that the divas wear makeup, just like most women wear makeup.
Sure.
men don't usually wear makeup, but in some cases they might.
Okay, if
But
you
in
hit them
this-
with a hose, what does Billy Kay look like?
So, okay, it's a good point. But I got to tell you, like Peyton Royce, great body, good-looking face.
Absolutely.
Had a close-up recently
Oh,
on
here
their
we go.
match.
What?
Against the Riot Squad. Right?
Yeah.
They were against the Riot Squad.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The makeup was cake up. It was cake up.
up.
Oh hell yeah! It was
So-
applied
so
10 times.
You're
So
telling
I'm
me
saying
if
that
you hit her
makeup
with a hose, she's
goes
not
cake
good
up.
looking anymore?
You know what? I'm not
I
sure.
think she is.
I'm not sure.
You ever see Sasha Banks without makeup?
Yes, gorgeous.
Then Peyton Royce is just fine. How about them apples? You hit Billy Kay with that hose?
Well, I know you're excited about this.
What?
You can now text Paul Heyman. The advocate tweeted
Right.
on a new service
Right.
for his
Sure
fans.
you can.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Sure you can.
my name is Paul Heyman,
Shit, of
and
course it is.
we're doing a lightning round of Ask the Advocate right now. You may text me personally at
Right.
ready
Sure, go ahead.
917
634.
4995. And should I deem your question worthy, I shall answer it personally.
Come on, man, I dare you. Text the number and go, do you like
Do you like Billy Kay?
Billy Kay? That's what you're going to ask? He's not going to deem
And by
that.
the way, before we
He's
go
not
to the
gonna-
next commercial break, what's wrong with Paul Heyman's face, dude? That thing is like, there's like yellow growing
What's
on his
wrong
face.
with
There's
Paul?
like something
You know what's
growing.
wrong with this whole thing? You mean to tell me that he's walking around right now, and if we dial, his pocket is going to start buzzing?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, look, it's Monte and the Pharaoh. Oh, yeah, sure. Who the hell believes this shit?
Hold on.
There's-
I'm going to text him right now.
There's no way.
Ready?
There's no way.
I'm texting him.
You're going to text him. What are you going to say?
I'm doing it right now.
Nice hair?
Paul,
What?
do you think that pro wrestlers deserve 401k and lifetime benefits?
I'm just an advocate.
Hashtag fuck unions.
Oh,
Let's see if he answers.
God.
Do you like
This
that?
is terrible. This
All right, we'll be back after this commercial break.
we hope.
Jimmy, I got to take a dump.
What?
No, I mean I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP.
In the mood for a freshly roasted cup of coffee? www.offtherailscoffeeroasters.com.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh, seen only here out of Indie Music TV on Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. This brings us, Pharaoh, to my favorite part of the show, the most annoying wrestling fan.
Favorite part of the
Or
show.
expert.
Favorite part. There they go again.
All right, well, the idea behind this is we would take a clip or a statement from a wrestling expert, and there's plenty of them out there, there's 10 million podcasts, or maybe even a wrestler.
Sure.
So this week, we've chosen Brody Lee from AEW.
AKA
What's his name?
Puke Harper.
Yeah, Luke Harper, yeah.
Okay.
On Brock Lesnar being a free agent and possibly jumping to AEW. Bear with us, fans. You ready?
Oh, yeah, jumping.
The topic of Brock Lesnar's free agency also came up on a podcast, and while it's unlikely that Lesnar jumps ship to AEW, the possibility now exists. Lee commented on the idea of Lesnar in AEW. Are you ready? This is
Sure.
in quotes. I mean, you have to look at every free agent, especially one of the magnitude of Brock Lesnar, Lee noted. From a business side of things, you have to look at that. From a professional wrestler side of things, I'm not sure that he has the he is the best fit for AEW. But again, I'm not management. I've been in the ring twice with him, so I'm clearly not afraid of him.
Oh boy.
So if he was to be here, I mean, I have a championship. So if he wants to start somewhere, I'll welcome him. Lee elaborated on why Lesnar is not a good fit for AEW. He noted that AEW already has monsters on its roster like himself. I didn't know he considered himself a monster. Brian Cage, and Lance Archer.
Oh, boy.
But does not mind if Lesnar wants to come in and challenge for a top spot.
Oh, how gracious
So I'm
of
going to
him.
turn this over to you about this most annoying wrestling fan, but I just want to leave you with this.
Yeah.
He's a fucking goof.
Yeah, he's pretty damn delusional. First of all, Brock Lesnar is not going to AEW, nor would he entertain going to AEW, first of all. Second of all, the complete cluelessness of Brody Lee to offer that Brock Lesnar would possibly be interested in not only coming to AEW, but fighting him for the TNT Championship? Please. Does he think that Brock Lesnar would even let me really spell this out. The TNT Championship to Brock Lesnar is probably even less important than the WWE 24/7 title.
Very good.
You can't be serious in your arrogance to think that, if he wants to come in, I'll be willing to. Are you kidding me? And as far as monsters go, let's see the monsters he listed. Okay. While I must admit that I would love to watch him break every bone in Brian Cage's body within 5 minutes and pin him, Lance Archer, that would probably take 5 to 7 minutes also to break him in half and pin him. And then we've got the biggest laugh of all. You, Brody Lee! You gotta be kidding me! Really think they're that clueless? Oh, Brody Lee should fight Brock Lesnar because he could give him a fight. Dude, you'd be gone in 1 minute. I just gave 5 to 7 minutes for Brian Cage, who I absolutely respect with his specimen, and Lance Archer, who's a bad mofo. Yep. I'll give them 5 to 7 minutes, by the way, the same running time that Brock Lesnar basically gave Samoa Joe, who's better than you, Brody Lee. My God, what's going on here? What did you get me started on? This guy's sitting there taking shit on Brock Lesnar, and he's not even an armpit hair on Lesnar's freaking body.
Well, with that,
thanks.
We want to thank the most annoying pro wrestling expert,
My meds.
this week's guest,
My meds.
Brody Lee.
Thank you, Brody Lee.
Well done, Pharaoh.
By the way, I was also a fan of yours, but, I kind of still am. But what the hell, bro? Are you that high? And if you are, could you send me what you just took?
Speaking of another goof, Jim Cornette says Mandy Rose and
Jim
Sonya
Cornette not a
Deville
goof.
should be fired for breaking kayfabe.
Wait a minute.
Because Rose was over at Deville's house when that freak broke into Deville's house. Well, I just added this to the script. I'm sorry.
Speaking of another goof, you called Jim Cornette.
So
and he's not a goof.
Cornette said that Rose and DeVille should be fired for breaking kayfabe before SummerSlam when that guy broke into DeVille's house and Rose was there with DeVille.
Okay.
And that they shouldn't have been together and they broke kayfabe and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah.
Really, Jim? That's depressing.
Come on, dude.
You know what that means? That means
you.
the Jim
Thank
is
you.
that means the Jim is still stuck in the like when Sheik and Hacksaw.
I'm sorry,
were
she
caught.
had her friend sleep over. By the way, the Mandy's Donuts, I recommend it. It's a beautiful.
Are you
YouTube.
sure that Jim was serious when he said that? Because if he was, come on, Jim.
It's enough. It's enough with the nonsense, dude.
I mean,
It's
most
like,
of the time I completely agree with the guy, but not there.
No.
I can't agree with that. That's messed up. Now I'm going to go back and want to listen to what he said exactly.
All right, we're short on time, so we're going to run through this real quick, okay?
Okay.
All out AEW predictions.
I don't care. I'm not predicting shit, but go on,
Just
Mike.
tell me who's going to win. All right?
I'll tell you who I'd like to see win.
Starting from the bottom, 21-man Casino Battle Royal. Who's the winner?
I've got no idea. I really don't.
Listen,
who the hell's in
it's either
it?
Brian Cage or Lance Archer.
Oh,
Okay.
for a shot at the AEW World Title.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I got to think about this. Just for a second. It's Cage. I'm gonna say Cage.
I'm going with Archer.
None of this means anything, by the way.
I don't know, but fine.
Go on. This is scripted. We're trying to get somebody's script.
Sheeta versus Thunder Rosa. So let me just say one thing.
What?
AEW's got me totally into it with Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa's
I'm
great.
a big fan of Thunder Rosa.
By the way,
dude.
how did this happen? You're suddenly loving Thunder Rosa. When did this happen?
I liked her.
I watched her in
NWA
Mexico and
Power.
TNA and all this stuff.
So I didn't watch her.
Oh, I watched
When
her.
she
I've been
was in
watching her for a couple of
NWA
years.
Power, I loved her.
Okay.
And when she's now in this, I'm totally into her
Right.
now. I'm like, I think she's a good wrestler. I think she's cute.
I know we were both on her side when Sexy Star pulled that bullshit over in Mexico.
That's right.
That I do know. No,
That's
she's
right.
awesome, Thunder
Yeah.
Rosa. She instantly improves their entire women's division. You realize that?
Yeah.
Instantly.
And, she's talking about bringing the AEW women's title to NWA. So it's a good little
Very
angle.
cool.
I like it.
No, it's cool. That's cool.
That being said,
They
she
gotta
lo-
put the
that
belt
being
on
said,
her.
She loses.
They're going to really have a
She's gonna
How
lose.
could they do that? That's
She's
a
not gonna
bad business move. That's a bad. Don't you think that's a bad business
For
move?
me, it is. Yeah.
I think that's a bad business
Kenny
move.
Omega and Adam Page versus FTR with Tully Blanchard for the AEW World Tag Team
Logically, you should put the belts on FTR.
So do we get a swerve
knowing
by
them, they
Page
won't.
or Omega? Does someone turn bad here?
They've been
teasing this
hinting
breakup forever, right?
that this breakup would happen. I guess maybe tonight's the night. Maybe that night will be the night. I don't freaking know. Half the time it never is. They just jerk you around for another week or two,
I'll
and,
agree
then,
with you,
and
though.
then pull the trigger.
They're putting the belts on FTR.
They should.
I mean, they brought them there.
What
for
are
a
they
reason.
there
If
for?
they lose, what's the point?
Right. How do you think they've been so far with Tully and stuff? They're fine.
They're okay.
They're better than what they were being shown in the WWE.
Well, with all due respect, sir, I'd
I
say
mean,
this.
come on.
Brody Lee is Brody Lee, and FTR is FTR.
Brody Lee's better
Okay.
in AEW. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
but he
but
already
that's-
thinks
they
he's
are-
on Lesnar's level.
But my point is, they
That's
are who they are.
insane.
They're retreads.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Listen,
They're all
no
improved,
one's
though.
missing.
They're all
Yeah.
improved.
They're in a better place. They're in a
Right.
better place, a better home.
They're booked better.
Listen, I love Thunder Rosa, but she doesn't belong in the WWE.
Why not? She could.
No.
Why not?
No, dude. There's just...
What, Sasha Banks run rings around her? What are you
Yes.
saying? She
Yes.
can wrestle. Thunder Rosa can wrestle.
She's
Right
not at the
there with her.
level. Listen, when you
I
look at the
disagree with that.
WWE wrestlers, they're so much better.
What,
It's
like
the
Carmella?
pro-
Thunder Rosa's a better wrestler
Bro,
than Carmella, huh?
Okay, Carmella's
Wait a
different.
minute.
Carmella's a... Listen.
Look, if you're okay, let's be fair. If you're talking Sasha Banks,
Yes.
if you're talking Bayley,
Yes.
if you're talking Becky Lynch,
Yes.
if you're talking even when Ronda was doing it,
Yes.
okay,
Charlotte Flair.
Alexa Bliss is way better than she gets credit for.
Right.
Okay, way better.
I would
all
say
right?
Thunder Rosa is better than Alexa
But I
in the
think
ring.
Thunder
but
is
as
too.
a character, Alexa's
Alexa's
the
the goods.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
as an overall package,
Yes,
she's
it's
absolutely
the pros against the minors.
totally. Yeah, but I think Thunder Rosa is marketable, and she could be big time in WWE. I totally can see it. They could do that with her. What a curveball she would be too, to
would.
like mess up the whole.
Listen, I'm a huge fan of her.
establishment.
I just don't think she would do well there. But that,
Really?
you know.
Did you think Bayley was going to do well when she first came up with the?
No, but you know
come
what?
on.
The WWE's a marketing machine.
I
man.
really believe
And
that
you
she
know
could
what?
be if
There's a
marketed
perfect
right.
example from earlier in the show.
What?
They hung in there with Bayley.
They sure did.
And guess what?
Well, they
struck
also
gold.
turned Bayley.
Yeah, but
you
they
know?
struck gold though.
Right.
They
did. She's
Chris
doing well.
Jericho versus Orange Cassidy in a mimosa match.
Wait a minute. That's all it's called? I thought it was like a mimosa in a tub or
Yeah,
something.
whatever, yeah, okay,
Wait,
I'm
no,
not-
wait, what is it called? A mimosa mayhem match.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, you wiener, let me get this in because I have to.
Go ahead.
When you say adios to Mauro Ranallo,
Oh, thank
could
God.
you please not
Thank
make
you.
it out like
Thank
I'm
you.
also saying goodbye?
All right.
Because, Mamma Mia, Michael Monte is now taking it to a whole new level. He's basically taking a shit down Mauro's throat. This is horrible. I guess you don't care too much about Mauro, huh?
Thank God.
Why are you glad?
See ya.
That,
Wouldn't
why are
wanna
you
be
glad
here.
that the best announcer outside of JR is gone?
Because I don't think he is. Everybody else does.
What
I
do you
don't.
not like about him? He makes
Ov-
everything over.
overacting.
He's got him in an R bar.
Exactly.
It's an R bar,
Dude,
and it hurts.
Most hilarious
That's pretty
show on the
funny.
cable version with you on
Yeah,
that. You
yeah,
had
yeah.
people rolling on that.
What did I do? What I doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's, but I miss Mauro.
Dark Order versus Matt Cardona.
Wait a minute, we didn't
Scorpio. I'm
talk
going
about
back.
Chris Jericho versus Orange
where
Cassidy
you
in the
going with that?
Mimosa Mayhem. What the Mimosa Mayhem match? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Jericho better
Well,
win.
you know, Jericho claims he's the guy that made the Money in the
Stupidest
Bank
thing.
match, so, you know.
Well, he did.
Okay, so
He did come up with Money
now-
in the Bank, but now he's coming
now
up
he
with
comes with the
this.
Mimosa
You're
match.
fired.
You're fired.
You know what? He just made the list.
So we're not going to go every match. So let's just talk about the main.
Oh, why
main
not?
event.
You don't want to talk about Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks? It's got Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus
And
rules.
Marco Punt. That's the worst thing ever.
John Moxley against MJF. Is it time for MJF to become the champion?
It should be.
And thoughts? Are they going to do
What
it?
I don't like, though, is this is when AEW went off the air, Moxley was in a pool of blood, and MJF was standing over him. You know how that usually ends up. The next match, whoops, roll up. I'm sorry, MJF, all your momentum down the tubes.
By the way, I did like that ending.
That was great.
AEW's doing a pretty good job, dude.
Don't you? They got to put the belt on MJF. He's their star.
They're not.
Why are they going to got to play it safe with those WWE
You know what?
Who takes the belt from Moxley?
Not anybody right now. It'll be like Wardlow will end up screwing up and cause MJF the fucking
Probably.
belt.
Oh, now it's a feud with MJF and Wardlow.
And then Moxley will move on to Orange Cassidy or something.
Brian
Who knows?
Cage.
Brian Cage. Yeah. Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Again,
Interesting.
when your champion's Moxley, I don't really. It's very difficult to swallow.
Especially when you think you can walk into the ring and plow him.
Beat the shit out of that
Come
guy,
here,
really.
heavyweight champ.
And I could.
I'm not touching this one.
All right, Monte DeFaro can be seen on the Monte DeFaro YouTube page, Facebook Live on the Monte DeFaro page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Channel 115 every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 p.m. every Saturday from 6 a.m. to 6:30. And
6 a.m. to 6:30.
We're also proud to, what did I write here? Oh, I'm sorry.
You can't read your own crayon.
I've been waiting. I've been saying this for the last 3 weeks.
What?
We are looking forward to adding the returning segment of Pharaoh's Corner, which will be a monthly review of
during
Jimmy
September, I
Pharaoh's
promise.
most intricate thoughts on professional wrestling without the interference of myself. So he's clear to leave his state. Are you looking forward to that, Matt?
Oh, my God. Oh, he's giving the thumbs up because he doesn't know what else.
Matt looks miserable tonight.
Matt looks miserable.
Pharaoh, any
12 years of college down the
final
drain.
statements before we call it a night?
Yeah, final statements. Brody Lee, you cannot main event against Brock Lesnar. I hate to break it to you. What else did we have that made us nauseous? Oh, but more importantly, rest in peace to the great Tom Seaver.
Yes.
And I really enjoy these shows where it's just me and you. So it's been a blast, there, partner.
As always, man. And they're
You
good
know?
shows, and I love them, and I love being here. So
There you go.
Matt's a little down and out today. I don't know.
Leave Matt alone. He's just.
I guess
hanging out.
Doink picked on him too much. I don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of. It's bad enough he had the clown issue, and then they come in and start railing away. I'm like, dude.
loved him, though.
But you know what, though? According to Matt afterwards, he told me that it solved his fear of clowns. Now he just wants to, run them over with his.
You're
car.
not scared. You're not scared of clowns anymore.
Yeah, there's really something about a clan repeatedly trying to fuck your mother that kind of makes you go over
He
it,
kept
though.
asking about your mom.
I know we're gonna end the show, but I have to ask
Phobia
you,
over. Phobia over.
were you ready for that kind of attack?
I wasn't ready.
I was expecting a bunch of things. That was not
No.
even the
So
ball.
No, it
if
wasn't
anyone
me
doesn't
neither.
know, Doink and Dink were in here,
Oh,
and
it's classic.
Doink was harassing Matt about his mother.
And I had Dink trying to get fresh with me.
Yeah, honestly,
No,
dude,
it's
look.
not good.
You're younger than us, but growing up, mother jokes were like the shtick.
Oh God.
But they went away
Oh.
because it's not
Yeah,
PC.
it's not- yeah, it's not
So when
funny.
he was blowing those out, I was like, "Holy cow!" I
Right,
cannot believe
I was,
it.
like, waiting
But,
for you to, like,
I want to know a young man's mind getting hit with a mother joke. Like, what's going through your head?
Oh, that's a timeless classic, dude. It still happens around now.
Well, so it's was it like Time Life Records? Like it's a classic. Always pull out the mother
Of
jokes.
course. See, if you got nothing else, pull out the mom.
What did you? All right, you were always professional like you always are. But I want to know what you wanted to say to him. He's not here now, so.
Oh God, Matt, be careful. They may come back.
I don't know. I really don't respond to those kind of things.
He didn't. He just was
Honestly,
like,
I wanted to help you because I was, but we're interviewing.
He's
guys.
got the SPT.
But do you think it would have been out of line? Because I was going to say for you, this is what I was going to say. I was going to say, oh no, he's too doink. He's too busy hitting your mother. Oops, she's dead. Sorry.
Oh, what are you doing?
Do you think that would have been too rough?
I think something about his mom would be fair, yeah.
And then you always have to add that she's dead.
Would you stop?
That's brutal.
No, yeah.
No, but it's not that it's brutal. It's just like it kind of like stops the mother jokes. It like ends.
Yeah, he's
like because now
looking-
you've stepped over the line.
He's looking to cap the faucet by saying that. You know what I'm saying? It's just
No, 'cause I got to tell you, he was a great guy, and I understand you're young and he's trying to play with you and stuff like that. But personally, I don't like the mother jokes. Like I never liked them growing up either. I don't.
No,
think they
you
were
weren't a
funny.
specialist in that. You would just piss in someone's beer and watch them drink it.
Yes, that's fun.
Right.
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 Let me ask you, Matt, before we go, football camp, right?
Oh, what? He didn't.
We're all
go
drinking at football camp, and then one guy falls asleep. Is it wrong just to urinate all over him while he's sleeping?
I mean, if you don't open your eyes, it's all fair.
You know what's funny? I was on the field after that happened, like later on, and his name was, by the way, remember Bill Gallant?
No.
Anyway, his name is Bill Gallant. If you're out there,
Actually,
Bill.
maybe Fately.
That's right. I'll remind you that I peed all over you while you were sleeping.
Oh my
But he
God.
found out because all the guys were making fun of him, and he wanted to kill me. But it's all fun and games, right?
Oh my God! What about the time that you decided that duty should be part of a food fight?
Oh yes. Oh, how about this?
Duty! No! How about that? We're throwing around food and orange juice and whatever, and this guy goes in the bathroom and locks it, and immediately Vin Rizzo, who knew,
Tell this story. I can't believe it.
who knew what you were capable of. I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, he's doing something in there. He comes flying out of the bathroom with a wrapped up giant duty bomb. He's like, yeah, this counts in the food fight. I'm like, it was a food fight. Slow mo, this duty goes sailing across the kitchen. Ah! right against the fridge. I got duty on my fridge.
And needless to say, I didn't clean it up.
Do you realize how badly I got beaten by my mom with that acoustic
Or
guitar?
to end it,
She was slamming that over my head like Pete Townsend with the hoe.
But remember the time you took a crap on that guy's car?
You did, and you told me to bring toilet paper.
All right. With that, this has been Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast.
We've known
Monte
each other
the Pharaoh.
forever.
I'm Mike Monte.
This is the Pharaoh. Until next week when we get in some more trouble. Later.